welcome to Johnsequitur. Remember when the show had like a theme song? Let's play a theme song!
I was a young boy that had big plans. Now I'm just another shitty old man. I don't have fun and I hate everything. The world owes me, so fuck you. Glory days don't mean shit to me. I drank a six-pack of apathy. Life's a bitch and so am I. The world owes me, so fuck you.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
This is episode 5 of the minimum wage series. I remember telling you guys that I was gonna put these in chronological order. I'm an aging stoner punker, so I don't remember what order I worked what in. I mean, look at this. Look at that. I'm wearing friggin' boots and shorts and a long sleeve shirt, and it's summertime. I have no idea what I'm doing. Is there anything more sad than an aging punker? Subway was where I went while I was working a contractor job mowing lawns. The most important thing to know about Subway is that you work there on your own most of the time. Sometimes there's a second person, but for me, I work there by myself all of the time. And you would be worried that you might get robbed or something. That's called foreshadowing. But for the most part, there was nobody there when I was working. Like, I spent most of my time just eating and sitting. Let's try to go from beginning to end. No, I can't really focus for longer than 2 seconds. You should see how long this video actually is. Keep having to pause because I gotta sniff and burp and scratch my balls. That's also called foreshadowing. The first thing that I learned at Subway from the two people that managed the store at the time was how to cheat on the counts. In other words, at the end of the day, you had a clipboard with a piece of paper and a list of everything in the store. And you had to make sure that the amount that you had matched what was supposed to be on the list. The way to get around this was to print out that you had nothing of any kind, and it would tell you how many short you were for each one. So however many short you were is what you would write down on the paper, and it would all match. This included the cash register. Oh yeah. But I didn't care about that. Like, I didn't actually think to myself, I'm gonna steal from work. I thought I'm gonna steal the food from work. I tried every kind of combination of Subway sub you can possibly imagine. Meatballs with chicken, meatballs with ham. Yeah, I know, that's 2. And they both have meatballs. Anyway, like I said, most of the time there wasn't any customers, so there was not a whole lot to do. I got bored really easy. So bored that, like, I recall playing hockey with one of my coworkers in the back one day. As far as hours go in this place, I worked like 4 a day. It was pathetic. Like, it was really pathetic. So it was good that I had the other job. Then things got really stupid, really fast. The two people who managed the store lived together. They did heroin together. They called off sick together. So one day I'm mowing the grass and I get a phone call saying that they need me to come in and cover for them because they're sick. So I show up. They're both sitting on the back counter smoking a cigarette. They're both like, oh, you're here, okay. So they left and I'm sitting there like, great. Okay, I get a phone call about an hour later from the district manager. He wants me to take the safety deposit box and put it in the freezer. He doesn't explain why. He tells me not to leave a note, don't tell anyone. Now, the safety deposit box at Subway was literally an open container on the floor. There was only ever like $45 in it because we literally did no business. But I'm like, okay, whatever, and I put it in the freezer. Turns out our managers were coming in at night and stealing money to go buy their heroin. And then using that technique that I told you at the beginning to write down that the money was even when it obviously wasn't. And this place was not only not turning a profit, it was like losing a lot of money, which is crazy because we didn't order anything. Like, the cost of upkeep wasn't that high. It didn't make sense to the owner. Me, I didn't care. I was stoned most of the time, just eating subs, eating cookie dough. That was my favorite thing to steal, by the way. The cookie dough. Oh, delicious. One day, after I'm done working my mowing job, I show up to work, and I start to get an itch on my arm. then I get an itch on the other arm, then all of me is itching. I realized that I have some sort of rash that I don't know what this is. It turned out it was poison ivy, but I didn't know. Now, I get paid $5.25 an hour, no health insurance, so I can't go to the doctor. So the first thing I do is call my manager, and I'm like, hey, I don't think I should be working. I have a rash. I could infect people with the food. And he's like, well, just don't touch the food then. How the fuck do I give people their food? So he hangs up, because obviously he doesn't want to come in because he's high off his fucking balls. I'm sure I was too, but you know, a different kind of high. The kind of high where you can slowly make a sandwich. This is when I go into the bathroom, and I realize that I have a rash on my balls. I call the hospital, and I tell them what I have. Their response, can't help you unless you're here. We can't give you advice over the phone. I'm not going to go in there because it's going to cost me like $7,000 to have them tell me that I have poison ivy or something. So it's 3 hours from closing. I closed the store. I'm like, I'm going home. And I just closed it. I don't know if anybody cared or not. And I don't care if anybody cared or not. Anyway, at this time I got a job at the government again. So I put in my 2-week notice and that's it. I'm done, right? My friend that I was playing hockey with one night, about a week after I left, was covering for what was supposed to be my shift. 2 masked people came in with their hands in their pockets and told him to empty the register. He did. It was like, he told me it was something like $80, and they left, and he knew exactly who they were. They were the managers. They got fired. Had I stayed there, I would have gotten held up at gunpoint by my manager. And I would have done the same thing he did. I would have been like, just take the money, dude. I don't give a shit. I hate this place. That was my experience at Subway. Not exactly the kind of thing that you would use to say minimum wage jobs are bad, except for not having health insurance being tied to your job, me not having it, and me not being able to go to the hospital worried that I had some sort of infectious disease on my balls. So, that's it. I don't know which one I'm doing next. Sheets, Country Fair. Who knows? Goodbye.